The 5 something situation. I met Barbie through work. She was in IT and she was in charge of our IT needs. This was about 20 years ago, late 2000s, not in the US. Though she used a team of third party employees to do the actual field work, one of them was called Becca. That'll be important later. Barbie was tall, huge chest, like really huge, and well proportioned body. I'd say a solid 8. She was also very quiet. She wouldn't talk unless it was necessary and didn't mind being in silence. She communicated better through text messages or chats. That was weird to me, and kind of difficult as I am a conversationalist to cope with my social awkwardness. However, I was a manager and there were plenty of girls that wanted to date a guy like me, but I am a relationship guy. Hookups were at this stage of my life not wanted and not common. We started going out, and after the third date, we were intimate. I couldn't believe how gorgeous this woman was. Absolutely beautiful. But she just lay there like a dog. I had to do all the work. She'd do it as many times as I wanted to, but no effort in it. I was asking about her previous relationship, and she told me a story that was kinda hard to follow. About a guy she was engaged with. Yes, engaged. The guy one day just vanished. He moved to another country with another woman. After that, she said she became cold and non-committal with relationships. Great. I thought I have to deal with someone else's mess, but I really like, to be honest, to have this tall 5'9" gorgeous woman at my side. We were given preferential treatment at every party, bar, or club we went to. It was really impressive how great she looked when she dressed up. Not even makeup. She just did her hair and wore nice dresses. Absolute attention. Well, we were hooking up everywhere, even a quickie in my truck when I dropped her off, and she was begging to be enthusiastic about it. Things were going great, I thought. Wasn't thinking of marriage, but a stable relationship. Not a single thought of moving in together and all that nonsense. Barbie could drink. At the time, and for over 25 years without a hiccup, I'd religiously drink at least 10 to 12 beers daily. Woo! Without including weekends, holidays, or parties. Barbie could down 20 to 30 beers without even slurring her speech. It was a feat I could not match. The most I got was 15 to 20. But over a long period of time, she'd drink 20 to 25 beers in a single night out in less than 4 to 5 hours. Dang, guys. This comes to play later. I told her, though it was impressive how her liver could assimilate all that alcohol, I don't think her mind could keep up. Myself, I have gone entire hours of drinking. I just don't remember. And that could happen to her. To do things she just wouldn't be able to remember or remain in control. We went to a weekend beach party once. In over 12 hours, she drank 59 beers. And then at the hotel, she drank another 4. So 63 beers in one day. I have never seen a human being do that in my life. Yeah, that's crazy. She spent the next 2 days just laying in bed like a corpse and puking on the way home. What a waste of great weekend. But she never seemed drunk. Impressive. Well, about 6 to 8 months into the relationship, a big holiday was coming up. We decided to spend a long 3-day weekend at a resort at a popular beach location. This was 3 hours from our city. She was asking me if we could also invite some friends that she introduced to me about a month prior. It was a couple that I didn't like or dislike, but they were fun enough. The day we were leaving, of course, something came up at work, and it was so important I couldn't go. But I've already paid for the hotel rooms, so I was asking her to go with her friends. And I was going to try to make it later that Friday or early Saturday. It was a major problem at work, and I couldn't make it Friday or Saturday morning. We were texting and calling all this time. I'd try to travel at night on Saturday. Then at about 5 p.m. Saturday, as I was leaving, work and getting ready to head out to the resort, I received a call from her friends. They said, "Hey man, did you make it over here? Are you with Barbie? We can't find her." I told them that I was still in the city and was about to head out. Then I tried calling Barbie, but no response. The phone was not off. She just let it ring. That went on, me trying to reach her, until like 8 p.m. or 9 p.m., and I decided I was not going to deal with a drunk Barbie. So I decided to stay put. About 10 p.m., her friends called again and said, "Man, we're really worried. She started drinking with 4 managers from your work. They started before noon, and it's already late. You should come over here, man, and help us find her." I told them no, I wasn't going to do that. She was a big girl, and she could drink huge amounts without passing out. So she knew what she was going to do, and if she didn't want to pick up the phone, then she didn't want to be bothered. She'd show up at noon on Sunday when she woke up from wherever she slept at. Give me a call when that happens. On Sunday noonish, I got a call from the friends that Barbie showed up and she was hungover, but fine. I was asking them to put her on phone. They said she was going to call me back. I told them have her call me back immediately or she won't have to call me back ever again. Barbie called me back. She seemed a bit annoyed and she said, "Sorry I missed all your calls. I had the phone in my purse and lost track of time." I was asking her where she slept and she said, "That's none of your business." I told her, "None of my business? We are exclusive and I paid for your stay at the resort. It's absolutely my business. Also, how was your time with..." Mentioned the names of the 4 managers, colleagues of us. "The 4 managers. Did you guys have fun?" Barbie said, "Whatever I did, I owe you no explanation. And who told you I was with them?" And then I told her how her friends were worried sick and told me who she was drinking with. Then the friends started saying they didn't say Barbie was with the 4 managers, that they just saw her briefly with them. "Barbie," I said, "you're right. You owe me no explanation, but I'll be a darn fool if I continue a relationship with a cheap, promiscuous woman that 4 of my coworkers effed for a whole weekend. As far as they're concerned, that's all you are to them. A cheap, promiscuous woman that I've been effing to empty my sack." Barbie said, "If that's how you feel, that's your problem. I don't owe you an explanation." And we hung up. Really, she didn't apologize or admit guilt. She probably doesn't even remember. That's sad. More than furious, I was really disappointed. I actually had some hopes about this woman. Then I started thinking about all the things I really didn't like about her, or red flags as we call them now. She thought really highly of herself regarding her skills, but she wasn't not only poorly skilled, she was downright useless at work. That bothered me. Not that she was dumb, but the disconnect. She actually thought she was gifted. She was obviously damaged by the guy that just left her when they were engaged. That left her cold and standoffish. Finally, the drinking. She made me spend all that money when we went out for all those beers. Every night was about 20 beers with her. Expensive. I was bummed. But heck, I thought, next, I don't think I'd love her. But pretty likely, at 28, I had developed a shell that prevented me from falling in love with women. It did affect me, but I guess I was happy with the ego boost she gave me. A couple of months after that, she was asking me if we could go out for dinner and have a talk. Wow. All this time, we had to continue working together. Big mistake, but I've done worse before. But I was polite and professional, so was she. No drama whatsoever. I said sure, got to the restaurant way before her, told the waiter that always served me there I tipped pretty good, and told him to separate the checks and give her everything she was asking for. She said that she understands she should have talked to me better that Sunday. She really doesn't have to explain her actions, but whatever, she did. She apologizes for it. I said, "Do you understand that we live in a city where everyone knows each other? And now if I continue talking to you, I was going to be the moron dating the woman 4 coworkers took turns with? She said, again, I don't owe you an explanation, but I'm sorry if that's how you feel. Well, I said, what are we here for? She said, I just wanted to make sure you don't continue to be upset with me, especially for things I don't owe you an explanation for. The gall. I said, you're right. If it makes you feel better, we can be friendly, but we will never date again. Do you want to go F tonight? She said, no, I don't think I want to do that. Really nice seeing you, though. By this time, she had asked for the most expensive wine, lots of expensive seafood, beer, and 1 bottle of nice scotch. The total was $400. My check was only 4 beers. The waiter gave it to her, and she said, you know I can't pay for this. I said, then why did you order then? I'm no longer effing you, so I'm not paying. She said, how am I going to pay for this? I can't afford this. As I was leaving, and I have to admit my mouth was trembling of how angry I was at the moment when I said it, well, you can go always F the manager and the waiters to pay for this. You already have experience doing that. I thought I was going to feel better doing that, but I didn't. I felt angry for what she did to us, but angrier that all I was to her was a foodie date. Yeah, unfortunately. All transactional, a F for food and beer, no idea how she paid. One thing I did out of spite was going out with her assistant, Becca, effing her, and then being indiscreet about it, so she knew. I regret that now. As I was showing I was hurt because I was. I don't think it bothered her. Becca only had that one night stand with me and didn't talk to me again. I quit that job 2 years later. Two years later after I left, and 4 years after I talked to her, I got a call from her. She was asking me for the password for my old work laptop. It was not possible that she needed it, as the laptop was wiped clean when I left. I told her I don't remember. She said thanks. Then I blocked her number. I saw her 15 years later on a plane. She had gained about 60 pounds. Not difficult for her tall frame. Her face still had the remnants of her beauty, but she was chubby. I'd never dated anyone chubby like her. She was polite and was asking me to change seats to talk. I didn't want to be a D, but so I did. She was a bit more talkative than when we were together. We talked like 2 old work friends. No mention whatsoever about us. I didn't want to go there. She was asking me if we could keep in touch. I said sure, but never contacted her, and neither did she. I think she married 2 years ago, with some poor sob. All this time, she never married until then, but was probably riding the carousel. Or not. I don't care. I was surprised one time one of my motorcycle riding buddies was asking me if I dated her. I said sure. He just smiled and said, good F, man. How do you know her? He said, I'm friends with her, brother. Fine. How do you know I was with her, though? He just laughed and said, you know, in this city, everything is eventually known. Didn't want to press the subject. Left it as I F'd her. Better than admitting I dated her. It was it was only a waste of 8 months and lots of money on beer. What a disappointment. Learned lessons. Do not try to rescue a woman from her own emotional damage. She was broken up with in the most brutal way, ghosting after proposing. That has to be a major emotional hit. Do not keep a relationship with a woman that shows zero effort in the bedroom. That means she's just fulfilling a perceived obligation to keep a relationship going, just doing the bare minimum to keep you hooked. Do not be a foodie date provider. As long as you are dating, she pays for her food and drinks, or at least 30-40% of the bill, at least. Once cheating has occurred, there's no rescuing the relationship. There's no need for concrete proof. No man can properly live with the doubt. End it. Finally, never, ever date someone at work. The end. Rocky.